Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today I want to talk about something many of us are currently experiencing, not just AI in education, but the uncertainty around how to respond to it in meaningful, practical ways. For example, practical approaches to ethical AI use in teaching and learning with a focus on how we communicate expectations clearly to students. Hello, my name is Evelyn Chan. I'm an educational technology and digital content specialist at George Brown Polytechnic. I'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. Let me start with a quick question. How many of you feel confident explaining AI expectations to your students? In many sessions, only a few hands go up, and it's not because faculty don't care. It's because we haven't been given clear, practical ways to communicate this. That's really where the challenge is. Not whether AI exists, but how we design for it. In two courses we worked with, students were already using AI, but expectations weren't clearly defined. So we piloted a simple approach, adding AI guidance, reflection, and a small policy into the course. What we saw was encouraging. About 75% of students engaged meaningfully with the reflection in the first assignment. And importantly, this was done in a low-stakes way, so it didn't significantly affect grading. So what I'm sharing today comes from practice, not just theory. What emerged from this work is a shift. Initially, the instinct was to try to stop AI use, but that quickly became difficult to sustain. So the question changed to, how do we design for AI use instead? Because students are already using AI. So the real question becomes, what kind of learning are we designing? We either try to ban everything or allow everything. But most teaching situations don't fit either approach. Instead, we need to make more intentional decisions based on what we're trying to teach. This is where AI literacy comes in, not as tool expertise, but as professional judgment, understanding what AI can and cannot do, where it supports learning when it doesn't, and how to explain that clearly to students. Ethical AI use includes choosing not to use it, especially when the thinking process is the goal, access is unequal, privacy is a concern, or when AI replaces learning. Instead of focusing on detection, we can shift toward transparency. For example, AI may support planning, but final work must reflect student thinking. What we found is that students weren't necessarily misusing AI. They often just didn't know what was expected. And once expectations were clear, their decisions improved. These choices are ultimately about protecting and supporting learning, not just managing AI use. At Waterloo, like many institutions, there isn't a single detailed AI policy that applies to every course. This also connects to broader institutional efforts to support instructors through guidance, tools, and policies. Instead, institutional policies provide high-level guidance around AI use and academic integrity. In practice, decisions about whether AI is allowed, restricted, or used with conditions are often left to instructors. So the challenge isn't the policy itself. It's translating that into clear expectations for students in a course. And that's where course-level guidance becomes important. What I want to focus on today is what that looks like in practice. This is an example of higher-level shared guidance used with students. It helps create consistency across courses without adding complexity. You don't start with policy, you start with guidance. Course policy becomes useful when you need more consistency or formal structure across a course or program. Step 1, AI guidance, what students see. Clarity for students matters more than having a formal policy. It focuses on where AI can support learning, what students are responsible for, and making use visible. The full editable version is available if you want to adapt it. This is how those expectations can extend into assignments. Instead of trying to detect AI use, we ask students to be transparent and reflect on how they used it. And we can also start to shift how we assess not just the final output, but parts of the process. For example, how students approach the task, what decisions they made, and how they used AI along the way. I have put together a one-page guide with simple ways to do this if you'd like to explore it further. The key point is, this doesn't require redesigning your whole course. You can start small, clarify one expectation, make one change, and adjust from there. These approaches are designed to reduce workload, not add to it. Short statements, simple reflection, optional supports, clear expectations. If you take anything away from this, AI literacy is about judgment, not tools. Design matters more than detection. Small, intentional changes are enough. AI is not a detection problem. It is a design and communication problem. Everything I have presented today is practice-based. Here is a short list informed by that work. If you would like, you can also refer to my OER press book, which includes a full list of references and a wide range of additional resources. Thank you. If you'd like resources, they're available through the QR code. I'm happy to take questions.